Hello, everyone. So welcome to Tanks Invest. We're talking about investing, finance, and professional development. For today's items only, the investment I'm going to talk today will be Ethereum ticker ETH. First, just want to say happy Thursday, everybody. Have a great week so far. We're almost to the weekend. Respective recording time of 9:09 a.m. on the Eastern Time. Ethereum currently trading $2,997, down about close to 1% so far. Respect to overall crypto market, we saw a slight rebound yesterday, right? It seems like we were normalizing from the bond yield spike that we experienced yesterday, and also with respect to the closing of the Q3 quarter on the equity side, subsequently drive some drag pressure across the market, not just specifically for equity, but obviously for crypto market as well. And with respect to Ethereum, the next level that we reached to was, as of yesterday, was the $3,027.50 level as we opened this morning as well. That we are basically just hovering around the level of a flat number, right? This is not really a substantive level. It's either we go up to the 3,150 or the $2,750 from here. Right? So I'm going to go through a technical analysis in a bit, but before I do that, let's go through the news to see how it's trending so far ever since I woke up this morning at 7. And I've just been collecting the news on my way to the gym and coming back to the from the gym. I had a relatively good workout today. It's one of my good friend's wedding tomorrow, so just spend some time with him, talk it out before his wedding, which is relatively monumental moment in his life. So I want to be there to be supportive. And today was just one of those bonding sessions that I had with him. And it's good. I'm very happy that one of my good friends is getting married. And building a life with his really wonderful wife Sarah as well. So, with respect to some of the news on the Ethereum front, the Crypto 2 hours ago talked about Dogecoin founder or co-creator, Ethereum bridges and NFT purchases would help Dogecoin. So it seems like there is some, collaboration or some sort of like business exchange between Billy Marcus, who is the co-creator of Ethereum, talk about how that will, on the commercialization front of NFT, can be a good consummation between Dogecoin and Ethereum. So something to be interested to talk about is something that they are brainstorming at the moment. So it's nothing really confirmatory at the moment, but something that we see that Dogecoin, knowing the fact that Vitalik Buterin, who is the creator of Ethereum, he's on the board of Dogecoin as well. So is Elon Musk as well, right? So seeing another figure that represents Dogecoin to have some, overlaps with respect to Ethereum wouldn't be surprising to me. So the next one is with respect to Fortune's magazine, global stocks, U.S. futures, and crypto gains as investors close out a lousy September. So September has always been historically a negative month, right? Based on just historical trends, it's always been down about 0.7% on the equity side. I don't have specific data as to for crypto specifically, but we could obviously do some quantitative analysis to look at that. But it's historically just been a down month in comparisons to other months. So this is just something that reminds us that there's a saying called Red September, and that's exactly what we experienced. And it seems like September is closing in. Almost done. We're basically a couple of days away until October, and the Q4 quarter will revive and subsequently should drive some buying pressure across this, the spectrum. And then the next one is on Cointelegraph. Polygon briefly overtakes Ethereum for active addresses after 330% surge. So this is something that is talk about the overwhelming surge that we've seen on Polygon. And this is another just position news comparing the two assets. But it's good to know, but nothing really substantive, right? Because ultimately these are still assets that are innovating. They're not on par at the moment. I would say Ethereum is still a leg up in comparisons to other altcoins. But it seems like Polygon and so is like other coins like Solana and Dogecoin are slowly catching up, right? Competitive dynamics is often a good thing. It's beneficial to innovation. So that's something we appreciate, we welcome, right? And then the next one is talking about Bitcoin, Ethereum, Dogecoin leads the crypto market higher, but inflation worries remains. So this is with respect to the pictures around the bond yields, right? That spiked, the last couple of days, which drove the volatility across the market, right? It's something we have to be aware of with respect to the quantitative tapering plan that Jerome Powell has in play for us, right? Ultimately, his mandate is what? Is the job numbers, right? And how that is going to be triangulated with, basically reviving back the economy, right? So something that is still pending, and Jerome has said that he's going to give us a more of a confirmed timeline on the tapering plan by the next FOMC meeting that's going to happen in November, which is 2 months from now, or a month from now, because September is almost done already. So we'll hear more about this, but this is something we have to be aware of, right? And then the next one is really talking about another just position news on Benzinga. Talk about why this Ethereum killer crypto could slaughter the bears. Talk about basically Solana. The article is basically, it's a just position article. Talk about in comparisons of the two and how Solana is slowly catching up. And would this be a good hedge? And what would be the right level of dollar cost average at in a technical perspective, which we'll go dive into a little bit more. And we've seen, Solana is it seems like is catching up some steam, but at the same time, it is shifting more of a commercialization side on the NFT as well. So it's something that we are, slowly observing, but ultimately is still innovating. Again, we welcome competition, and Solana, it seems like, for the article to be saying like Ethereum killer is a little bit too premature, right? Because that's like saying, just because there's a Burger King and there's a Wendy's and Burger King is making better burgers, and Burger King is going to kill Wendy's completely. It's cultivating innovations, right? It's cultivating more competition, which we appreciate, right? Without competition, we will not grow. It needs to take some frictions in a competitive perspective to grow, right? So it's something we appreciate. So I don't know why these articles keep saying Ethereum killer when that's not the right characterization, if you may. And the next one is a Benzinga. This is the last one. 16 hours ago, talk about Ethereum Classic slides back towards support level. It's the bounce in the work, which is basically talking about with respect to the technical analysis. So let's go dive right into it, shall we? So we are floating right now. As we know, we opened at the 3027, which is below the 3150, obviously, despite the rebound that we have across the market on both the equity and the crypto side. And right now, we are still in the bearish trend. We're at the 44.71 out of 70. There's no sign of curvature going back up yet, but this is a slight curvature. I would say is not like completely confirmed yet. So I think, again, right, the $3,000 level is not a bad level to buy, right? Anywhere below, to the 2,750, which we got there yesterday, and it's not showing in the chart for some reason, was the dip, right? And I hope that some of you guys actually did buy the dip, right? And if the trend continues, right, and knowing the fact that we're still within the head and shoulder pattern, we're going to come back down eventually. So today is just more of a macro driver on Q3 closing and then Q4 surge. Is type of like a transitional period driving the buying pressure, right? So still bearish. I would still stay within the frame of reference for the technical in the market cycle perspective. For Bitcoin, I would say it's comparable. 40,000 would be the next dip, and we got to the 42 yesterday. But again, the 42 is not really a substantive level. The real level is at the 40, right? So we still have to wait, and I think Bitcoin is a little bit interesting because we are slowly curving up. So, and on top of the fact that we are oscillating on a sideways fashion, so like a near-term surge wouldn't be surprising to me because like we are forming a golden cross slowly, but we have to watch this really, really closely. And would the surge be significant? I don't know how big that would be. That's really contingent on the whale's activities. But it is a relatively good signal. We are curving up, but it's at the 45 out of 70, so it's not like perfect. But it's still a bullish setup in comparisons to Ethereum. Dogecoin, I would say Dogecoin is a great buy right now. Again, right, the 20 cents is a really, really strong level of dollar cost average. With the 35, which is a sweet spot, and we are slowly forming a golden cross. So I think right now it's not a bad level of dollar cost average at. Cardano, I would say Cardano is comparable to Ethereum at the moment. I think we are still in the bearish state. There is no curvature going up yet at the 40 of 70. So $2 is the dip, right, which we saw. But I think going to a 187 is still in play based on how it's set up right now. Solana, if we are just like hovering on a sideways fashion, struggling to stay above, right? But the level that we at right now is just we're building grounds, which is something we appreciate. But in terms of like, are we bearish or bullish at the moment? We're still in the bearish side of the house, and I think the good level will be the $113 level for us to dollar cost average at, and then subsequently 96, and then subsequently 67 or 68. XRP, we are in a, and you know, again, 88 was the dip, right? So hopefully some of you guys bought the dip. In terms of the setup right now is quite comparable to Ethereum as well. We are not really, it's not the best level to buy at the 43 out of 70. We're not at the 35, and there is some curvature forming upward. So I think XRP 88 was the dip, right? And I think that was the logical move, but the risk reward ratio, you know, in terms of like falling back to 78, that could be possible because we do have a large gap that needs to be filled. So we have to watch, but I think incurring some risk at 88 wouldn't be a bad idea at all. So with respect to the market cycle, we are still within the anger and the early inning of depression stage. I know that you're going to see maybe some surge coming and then continue to slide down. This is supposed to be like a guessing game, but you know, with this psychology chart, we are not guessing. We are basically looking forward to seeing these signs coming out, right? This is like a chart that gives you the premonition, if you may. Again, I'm not a wizard, but this is just what I'm following as a rule of thumb. And with respect to the price target for Ethereum, 3,000, 2,700, 2,450. Again, the 3,000 is a logical level, but if you bought at 2,750 2 days ago, which we had two opportunities, I think once on Thursday, once on and once on Tuesday as well. So like Tuesday and then a Thursday, which is technically today. Last night, technically, if I'm speaking the right time frame of spectrum, and that will be the dip, right? But long term wise, if you bought into 3,700, you know, for some reason, or 4,000 even, just hold for a long term, 3.3 times your money from here in the next 12 months. So hopefully this is helpful. I have a long day of meetings back to back. I think I have 12 meetings later today, just straight up. And I'll try to post as much as I can to give you guys an update on, you know, express update, if you may. I know that you guys really appreciate that. So I will try to squeeze that into one of my meetings in between when I have some time. But I really appreciate you. Feel free to give me any, you know, give me a shout if you have any questions. I'm just going to be drinking black coffee the whole day, try to sustain my mentality and my physical energy at the same time. But yeah, really appreciate you and stay tuned for what's come up. Take care. Bye.